today we will be learning about solving inequalities with the distributive property. So every problem that we're going to look at today will have a distributive property, meaning we're going to have to figure out how to multiply first, then simplify using two steps, and isolate the variable. So we're just taking this one step further, building on yesterday's lesson around two-step, but today we're going to have multiple steps to do. So our first example looks like this. It says -7 groups of x plus 3 is less than or equal to 28. So before we can even begin to solve this problem, we're going to need to distribute this 7 into the x and the 3 so that we have something to remove and something to divide by. So we're going to go ahead and start by using the distributive property. So if you remember, we're going to multiply -7 times x, which is -7x. And then we're going to multiply -7 times a positive 3, and that's going to give us a -21. Now we just drop down the rest of the problem. This now looks like a problem that you are used to solving. So we're going to go ahead now and solve this using the two-step method. So first we needed to distribute. So we distribute to simplify, and now we're ready to solve using our two different steps. So we're going to start right here. We don't want to touch this yet because we want x's on one side and numbers on the other. If I start with this, this will go away, and we don't want the x to go away. So we're going to start here, and right now it says -21, so we're going to add 21. And we are going to add 21. This 21 goes away. We now have 7x left over, -7x left over. And we're ready to solve over here. So 8 plus 1 is 9, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So now we have -7x is less than or equal to 49. So we're going to now go ahead and undo multiplication, which tells us to use the opposite, which is division, and divide by -7. So I have a positive divided by a negative. This gives us -7 left over, and we're ready to graph. So we're going to solve using opposite operations, and now we're ready to graph, then graph. All right, so step 1, distribute. Step 2, solve using opposite operations, and then step 3, we're going to graph. So let's go ahead and graph this out. We have a number line, and it says x is less than or equal to -7. So we're going to put -7 on the number line. This tells us a closed dot. So we're going to go ahead and close that dot. And our arrow is pointing to the right, everything that is less than. Everything that is less than. So the only difference between yesterday's lesson and today's lesson is that first we need to do this step here, which is distribute. So we're going to share this 7 with everything in the parentheses. Okay, let's go ahead and do a second example. Example B. And example B, let me find one. Example B says that we have 12, which is less than -2. y minus 4. All right, so on this problem, we're going to go ahead and distribute first, just like we did in number 1 in problem A. But at the end, we're going to have to make sure that our letters are on the left. So we have one more step to do on this problem. So we're going to draw our balance line. We're going to distribute. Negative 2 times y is negative 2y. Negative 2 times negative 4. Remember to keep the sign with that. So negative 2 times negative 4 gives us a positive 8. Less than and 12. Okay, now we're ready to solve using 2 steps. So we're going to solve this problem using 2 steps. First, I'm going to remove 8. Remove 8. That goes away. I now have 4 on this side, and it says 4 is less than negative 2y. Divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2. So this tells us that y is going to be greater than, because we're going to flip this around. 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2. So let's go ahead and flip this. This now becomes y is greater than negative 2. And now we are ready to graph. So let's draw our number line. And we're going to put negative 2 here. This is an open dot. We're going to open dot this. Arrow to the right. Arrow to the right. So only difference between yesterday and today is that we have to multiply first to get it simplified down to a 2-step equation. Once you're at a 2-step equation, you can do the same process that you did in the last lesson. Opposite, opposite, 2 steps, get rid of everything, isolate that variable. Okay, let's do one more example and then we will do some try-its. So one more example here. Hopefully I have enough space. I already wrote that C really big, so we'll see. Okay, we have negative 4y. Negative 4 times y plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 12. All right, so we're going to go ahead and distribute first. We got to share this 4 with both things in the parentheses. So negative 4 times y is negative 4y. Negative 4 plus 2. Negative 4 times 2, a positive 2, is going to give us a negative 8. Less than or equal to negative 12. Okay, we're now ready to remove the 8. So let's draw our balance line. Again, we want letters on one side, numbers on the other. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to add 8, and we're going to add 8. I have negative 12. Think of this as $12. I have negative $12 in the bank, so I owe the bank $12. I give them 8. I now just owe them 4. And now we drop everything else down. Remember, this went away. All right. Right now it says multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide and divide. So this new problem says that y is less than or equal to negative 4 divided by negative 4, which gives us a positive 1. So we're ready to go ahead and graph this problem on the number line. We're going to have a closed dot at 1. So here's 1. We're going to have a closed dot, and our arrow is pointing to the left. Everything that is less than 1. So 1 and everything less. Okay, go ahead and hit pause right now if you need to finish writing this down. We're going to go ahead and turn the page and do some try-its. So get ready to turn the page so that you can do your try-its. All right, here are our try-its. And try it number 1. Try it number 1 says that we have 2 times k minus 5 is less than 6. And then try it number 2. Try it number 2 says that we have -4 groups of n minus 10, which is less than 32. Okay, when you are ready, go ahead and hit pause once you have this written out. And then hit pause. Make sure that you hit pause so you don't hear me solving these problems. When you're ready, come on back and check your level of understanding. All right, so first we're going to draw a line and we're going to multiply. So 2 times k is 2k, and then 2 times -5 is -10. We then have less than 6. All right, now we're ready to do our 2 steps. So right now it says -10. We're going to add 10 and add 10. This gives us 16, and this says 2k is less than 16. Now we are ready to divide by 2. So we're going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. K is less than 8. 16 divided by 2 gives us 8. So k is less than 8. We're now ready to go ahead and graph this on a number line. So I'm going to go ahead and put 8 on there. It is an open dot, and our arrow is going to point to the left for less than. Okay, how'd you do on this problem? How'd you do on try it number 1? Okay, now we are ready to try it number 2. All right, try it number 2. So we're going to go ahead and draw our balance line. Again, we need to multiply first. Don't forget your negative sign. So -4 times n gives us -4n. -4 times -10 gives us +40, less than 32. Okay, now we have 1 step to do. We're ready to subtract 40 and subtract 40. So I had 32 in the bank. I removed 40. I now have -8. So -4n, divide by -4, divide by -4. I have n is less than -8 divided by -4 is 2. So n is less than 2. Okay, we're ready to graph this number now. So we're going to go ahead and graph this. I'm going to put 2 on my number line. This is an open dot with my arrow pointing to the left for less than, everything that is less than. All right, how did you do on problem number 2, on try it number 2? How did you do on that one? Okay, go ahead now and answer your essential question. Where are you at in your learning? How do we solve problems with the distributive property? Sorry, the sun just started shining really brightly. How do you solve problems using the distributive property? And then go ahead and put your level of understanding out to the side. Where are you at? You can then come on back to the Google Meet and ask for help if you need it, or you can go and do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.